Hello and welcome to the final segment of DSU Inside Perspective for the school year of 2017-2018. I'm Carlos Holmes, and this is the show in which we talk to faculty, staff, students, alumni, guests about some of the things that are going on in the world or some of the great things that are going on at Delaware State University. Today we have Kyle Sheppard, who graduated in 2017 with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology and a minor in women's and gender studies. And now he is pursuing a Master of Education in Educational Leadership at Delaware State University. And most recently, Kyle has won the Courage Award for Greek Leadership from the Biden Foundation and the It's On Us campaign, which is a White House initiative. Kyle, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a mouthful. Biden Foundation, It's On Us campaign.
Yes,
we
it
know
is.
the work that Joe Biden has done during his congressional career and continued on as vice president during those years in terms of his crime bill,
Yes.
in terms of sexual assaults. These are important things to him. So explain to me how you got this award.
That's still somewhat of a wonder to myself. So the Biden Foundation, like you said, they work with the It's On Us campaign. It's a national campaign developed under his role as VP of the country. And they have the annual Biden Courage Awards. And what happens is a nominator makes a recommendation based off of campus leadership in the work of sexual violence prevention and awareness programs. And that person who did that for me, nominated me, was Dr. Pauline Meek of Delaware State University's Counseling Services. And once I got that nomination, I got a phone call. They let me know that the applicants went from about 800 and they narrowed it down to 10 students, and they still had to narrow it down to another 4 students to get these Campus Hero Awards. So I got a follow-up phone call, and they let me know that I won the award for Greek leadership on university campuses in sexual violence prevention.
Now, in talking to students and interviewing students sometimes, I ask them, well, what are your extracurricular activities? And some of them have not much to say. I got a job on the side and I go to school.
Right.
But you were the president of the Men's of Color Alliance, commonly known as MOCA.
Yes, sir.
That was your junior year, I believe.
Yes.
You were the president of the Men's Council your senior year,
Yes.
2016-2017. And you were very involved with the SARA group, the Sexual Assault Response Advocates. So
Yes.
you were a sexual response advocate. So,
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
what did that entail? And why is that important on this campus?
I'll start off in saying like what it entails. Being involved in those different things, it can be time consuming. However, what I believed in was tying all that work in together. So working with MOCA, a student organization, allowed me to prepare for student government, which would be Men's Council, which allowed me to see how we can develop an umbrella of advocacy and put it into our policy and our bylaws of how we want to run our organizations, which brought in Sexual Assault Response Advocates, SARA, which already exists, but how can we incorporate the training of what SARA does, their workshops, their information, their resources, their literature of what they already do into the organizations of prevention that could use them the most, like our fraternities, MPHC, our student organizations like MOCA, like the God Brothers, and also, like I said, student government, Men's Council. And they work, SARA works directly with our campus response team also, which develops, different programs on campus that want to tackle those same issues of prevention.
Now, your senior capstone
Yes.
was on My Brother's Keeper's Initiative, a bystander's intervention and men's initiative method. Talk about that. What is that? And that's still work that's ongoing for you,
That's
right?
correct. The work is always going to be ongoing. So My Brother's Keeper Initiative, actually, if people research and look into that, that was an initiative under President Barack Obama, who brought on an initiative, something tackling brown and black boys in ways that could help them grow and nurture. But I wanted to take a spin off of that and saying, how can we better address and look inward about ourselves in the areas of prevention? And bystander intervention, that is a term used where we try to identify ways where sexual assaults commonly happen at, how they happen, and who are the people and what are the things and components surrounding it, and how can we instill ourselves to prevent it from happening. You know, who are the people closest by? So that model was my capstone. Like you said, my brother's keeper, bystander intervention model was about using what already works, not about reinventing the wheel, and try to apply it to a demographic that I'm most passionate about, which would be, you know, people from Delaware, black and brown boys across the world, across the nation, and obviously my campus right here at Del State. And like you said, it definitely is still ongoing. So I have the pleasure of still overseeing as the men's coordinator for the SARA program, which is still going into concurrent years, and to be able to see that program take place. Like we know in administrations is a lot of times we have ideas of what we want to do, but they may not come to fruition until some years to come. But luckily, I'm fortunate enough to still be involved with the program and try to see how we can build up off of it, make it work. And luckily, it came to the national spotlight. So we want to be able to continue to bring resources to it for it to succeed.
So you've continued to be a positive element, even as a graduate student. You've continued to be involved in your DSU community and just help make it a better community.
Of course.
I love your drive in these areas. Tell me something. Who are your role models?
Wow. So if I name one, I probably have to name too many. So what I will say, my role models are often the people who do not get on this stage. My role models are, unfortunately, the friends and the peers of mine that don't get to make it to university. They don't get to make it out of high school, if high school at all. They get my people I look up to are the women and the people whose stories go unspoken because their voices are not heard. And I look at it not necessarily as courage, but of necessity to be able to tell their stories when need be, because either we're not listening to them enough or they don't make it to the policy room and to where changes really take place at. So if I can do my part, it's definitely be able to vocalize that and, you know, illustrate that work.
You know, I understand completely your activities. They dovetail nicely with your psychology degree, and now you are pursuing educational leadership master's degree. What are your aspirations?
I'm still learning that every day. So I'm studying for currently K through 12 administration underneath educational leadership. However, as you can see, I love higher education. I love being involved with students past that level. So I'm kind of torn, but I want to, I believe, develop. You know, you heard of the school to prison pipeline. I want to be able to develop a parallel to that, to where it goes in the opposite direction. And if all students and all young people don't make it to college, they should at least be able to make it to avenues that best fit them to be able to serve in their economy and in their world and their community. And really I have a mantra called community development through youth involvement. And I really believe in putting youth in the driver's seat, you know, and allowing them to dictate their future instead of the other way around, where, you know, different generations of people trying to put it on them for them to determine what they want to do, but really allow them to dictate, you know, how our future should be within the community.
Now, you are from?
I'm from Delaware, Newcastle, Delaware. Right
Delawarean, born in Delaware, okay.
Yes.
And so you're going to stay here, you're going to work at Delaware State University, and we'll be adding you to the name of president somewhere along the line there.
That's not a decision that gets to be made right here. But, you know, I am fully confident that the work and the passion that I have now is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, I'll be here for quite some time. And I look forward to where that takes me. But I still definitely have a lot of learning to do right here. And Delaware State University has a lot of work that it has to do out in the community, out in the world. So, you know, I'm excited, and I'm definitely looking forward what's to come.
So, speak a minute to your peers, your undergraduate peers and even graduate peers, but in terms of the importance of being involved in your community in such a positive manner. Why is that important?
Well, I think we hear the story of different writers and activists and leaders that say, you know, if you don't tell your story, somebody else is going to do it. And I believe that if you don't do the work, somebody else is going to do it for you. And it's whether or not we take up that ownership of what that work looks like and what we want it to be dictates the conditions that we have. And mind you, we're battling a system that has a lot of resources in place to make it ways that may not benefit people who look like us. However, that should excite us because, like you said, we're trying to cultivate something that goes beyond us and extends beyond us. And I think this award is really something that magnifies that. So if I could say something to people tomorrow and the people who are watching, it's, you know, we don't always see the success of what the work we're working towards now. We say the success is worth more than acknowledgement, meaning we may not always be acknowledged for the work that we do, but, you know, the benefits and what's to reap is much more valuable than receiving that pat on the back. That's not what we do it for. We do it for, what's to come tomorrow, whether or not we see it.
I always say, God does not always tell you when you're helping somebody, because
Absolutely.
our head would be so big, we would be of no use to anybody.
Absolutely.
But I can see that you're doing a lot to help people on this campus, and I just thank you for that. Thank you for, on behalf of the university. Thank you, and congratulations on that award. Not everybody gets to sit there and shake hands with Joe Biden, even though he was here, our commencement
yes,
speaker.
Yes, I brought that up to him too.
Yeah, he was. He was here, so a few people got a picture. I didn't get a picture with him, but
I'll see if I can make a phone call.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to shake. I've met him before. I met him when he was a congressman. But you keep on doing what you're doing. Kyle Sheppard, who's a master's degree student here at Delaware State University in educational leadership, but more importantly, he is very involved, in helping to maintain and create a very positive Delaware State University community here, and he's going to continue doing that.
Yes,
We're going to be looking for big things from you, young man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for this segment of DSU Inside Perspective, and thank you for joining me throughout the year, and we'll see you in the fall of 2018. Everybody have a good summer.